This week's Torah portion, Re'eh from Deuteronomy, speaks about eating and what we can't eat and what we should eat. In our culture today, people are very concerned about eating. We have vegans, we have vegetarians, we have people who are gluten-free. Eating is a very essential part of life, and that's probably why our ancestors concentrated so much on eating. Today we live in a fast food culture. We have almost every kind of fast food available, and all too often we stop there instead of thinking about slow food, about taking our time, about what goes into our bodies, about our health, about what's good for us. I think that we can look at it metaphorically as well. But one of the passages that keeps coming up, 3 times as a matter of fact in the Torah, is that it's something that's associated with what we eat, but it doesn't say anything about eating. It says, "You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk." Now, this is a very mysterious kind of comment. You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. There have been many theories about why this appears. One of them is that this was an ancient practice, many anthropologists believe, of pagans, that they would actually take a cauldron of mother's milk and boil the kid as an offering to the god. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not, but if that's the case, then our ancestors were trying to tell us to not be like pagans. And I think that's good advice in any age, to have traditions and customs and things that elevate life, and not in a pagan kind of way. That word pagan has lots of meaning today as well. It could also mean be compassionate. If you're going to kill an animal, don't also then use its mother's milk in which to boil it alive or kill it. This is another way of looking at it. The way our rabbinic ancestors interpreted was that this means you shouldn't eat milk and meat together. This is what they said. And from that came a variety of customs, and different groups of people either eat milk first and then they eat meat, really without waiting very long. And if they eat meat first, some groups wait for half an hour, some groups wait for 3 hours, some groups wait for 6 hours. It all depends on groups' customs. So these passages that we find in the Torah need to be understood in their context. They need to also be understood with all of the different explanations. Does boiling a kid in its mother's milk imply that we shouldn't eat milk and meat together? Some say yes, some say no. These are things that we make decisions about for our own personal Jewish observance. The real truth is that what we choose to observe Jewishly are reminders of the importance of our Jewish identity and all that it tries to teach us. And eating 3 times a day is a good, frequent way of reminding ourselves of who we are. Shabbat Shalom.